Hello everybody, it is Nicole from iiKiui, and today I decided to revive an old series. If you've been here long enough, you may remember this series. The last video was in January 2017, and I thought it would be fun to bring back this casual sketching type of video to the channel. So without further ado, let's hop right into the video. If you want to sketch with me, I'll leave a screenshot of the hand pose I'm drawing in the video and you can join me. I'm using a paid app called Handy that I got for $2.99 in the Google Play Store. I promise this video is not sponsored, I just really like the app. It comes with set poses, but you can also manipulate the hand into custom poses and change the lighting. So if you're interested, I'll leave a link in the description. So recently I posted a video where I redrew something from 12 years ago. I really appreciate all the nice comments about my improvement, but if I'm being honest, I still feel like I'm in an art slump. That's why today I'm dedicating time to practice drawing hands. I've definitely been slacking on actively practicing, but I figured if it's for a video, I'm more motivated to do it. I actually really liked drawing hands, but I noticed that I kept making them in the same pose. That was when I realized I only liked drawing hands when they turned out okay, and I despised it when they were difficult. It really hindered my improvement because I stayed in a safe zone for so long and I was so afraid to try anything new in fear that it would turn out bad. I'm kind of a perfectionist, so when something doesn't turn out well the first time or a drawing doesn't turn out the way I want, I'm the type of person to remove that drawing or erase it completely until it looks good. And what I realized was that not accepting my bad drawings as signs of progress or improvement put me 2 steps back when it came to moving forward in my art. Because I didn't want to create bad art, I didn't draw anything that I wasn't familiar with. If you've been on my channel long enough, or just scroll through all my videos, you'll probably notice that there's not many drawings of guys in there, and when I did draw them, it was such a surprise. Since I wasn't good at drawing guys in the beginning, and I didn't want to see bad drawings of them, I just didn't draw it. So now I'm trying to move forward and practice things that could use some improvement, starting small with hands. I always admired how others drew hands. They always looked so natural, even when foreshortened or in perspective. Any type of foreshortening when it came to hands were my enemy. Today's hands are not drastically foreshortened, but we're taking baby steps. Today we have a lot of overlapping fingers as well as angles that I rarely draw. I'll try to explain my process of sketching a hand from reference. I did a tip video on how to draw hands a while back, and I still use those methods, but I find that nowadays I gravitate more towards making volumized shapes rather than thin lines. This helps me figure out the perspective and the volume of the hand working in 3D rather than 2D shapes. The process for each hand is a little different because, depending on the pose, I change what I start with. Sometimes I'll make a rough outline of the entire shape so I know my space I'm working with, whereas other times I'll start with the thumb or a finger. Ultimately, I'm trying to get the placement and proportions correct before I start making more definitive lines. When I start to block out the fingers, I use tubes. I used to use lines or sticks, but when I did that, I wouldn't consider the spacing between the fingers. The rough sketch of the hand would look okay, but when I started to add volume, the entire thing would be off because I didn't account for the thickness of each finger. Since fingers are divided into 3 sections, I basically added 3 tubes. I find adding some indication of each joint helps to make the hand look more believable. When I do practice like this, I don't add details like nails since I'm mostly focusing on getting the hand looking like a hand rather than details that can be added later. After completing the sketches, I wanted to clean it up, so I used a brush pen to make the most important marks. I try to make sure each line I make is purposeful, adding pressure when I want to and releasing when I don't. I think this really helps the hand look more polished and allows you to see the final hand without all the sketching underneath. This way, you can also see where you excel at and where you need improvement. I like using a brush pen over a fine liner because it adds line variance all on its own. I also feel like it can help add movement and elegance to a piece. Of course, use whatever you prefer because this is all for your own self-improvement. Overall, I actually enjoyed practicing hands. I tend to avoid practicing anything because it can feel tedious and almost like a chore. But once I started drawing, I was having so much fun that I actually couldn't stop. I think the most satisfying part for me is when I add the line art with the brush pen. I was able to see both my strengths and weaknesses, so going forward, I'll be able to improve upon that. I hope you enjoyed today's sketch with me, and if you followed along, let me know in the comments down below. How did you do? And again, if you want to use the handy app I'm using, The link is in the description. If you enjoyed sketching along with me and want to join me in more art videos, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you're notified of when a new video comes out. And if you like these Sketch With Me videos, please leave a thumbs up so I know to do more in the future. So with that, I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. Keep drawing, keep creating, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!